Right now, moments before the first pitch, it's the traditional first ball throwing. And a switch on it tonight as we go to Game 7. The president of the Red Sox, Mrs. Jean Yawkey, the chairman of the board of the New York Mets, Nelson Doubleday, with Nelson throwing the ball to Rich Gedman and Mrs. Yawkey throwing the ball to Gary Carter. Now let's get to the lineup. For the Red Sox, no changes. Wade Boggs leading off at third and Marty Barrett at second base. Bill Buckner will be at first and Jim Rice in the cleanup spot in left. Dwight Evans in right field. He'll be followed by Rich Gedman behind the plate. Dave Henderson in center field. Rich Owen at shortstop, and the pitcher will be Bruce Hurt. Here's the way the Mets stack up defensively.
And there are some changes. Kevin Mitchell is in left field. Mookie Wilson is in center field. Strawberry is in right field, as you heard McNamara say. Dykstra and Backman are out of the lineup. The infield, Knight, Santana, Tuffle, Hernandez, Carter behind the plate, and Ron Darling on the mound.
Ron Darling, a 15-game winner during the year, is 1-1 in the World Series. He was 1-0 in the playoffs. And as you might remember in the series, he has not allowed an earned run to Boston in 14 consecutive innings. Wade Boggs, Marty Barrett, and Bill Buckner, and here we go. Ball one. John Kibler, Jim Evans, Harry Wendelstedt, Joe Brinkman working the lines, with Ed Montague and Dale Ford on the foul line. Right. One and one. Boggs backing out as an airplane flies overhead. We should have a lot of that tonight. The pattern, evidently, for the first time, will bring planes almost constantly directly over Shea. 1-1. Ball two. There is no breeze to speak of. The flag hanging limply in center field.
Remember, that's how Hernandez, he figures that the breeze when they're overhead blows to left field.
Now back, 2-2. So on a somewhat breathless night in New York, it's the final game of the year. 2-2 to Boggs. Ball three.
Darling doesn't have any trick pitches. It's a fastball, a curve. He does have that split finger fastball, but he does not throw it hard. He kind of uses it as an off-speed pitch.
So 3-2, the count to Wade Boggs. Line drive at Santana. So Wade Boggs hits it right on the button, but right at Santana. One down. And second baseman Marty Barrett coming out. Barrett is hit in all 6 with 4 RBIs. On deck, Bill Buckner. Ball one. Walt Reniak coaching at first. Renee Latchman around at third for Boston. In there. One of the things that has bothered the Red Sox considerably throughout the series, leaving men on base. It's interesting, they have left 63 men on. If they leave 9 more tonight, they will have tied a World Series record of 72 established by the Mets back in 1973.
What might be a factor, too, is Mookie Wilson in center field then plays very shallow as compared to Dykstra.
1-1. In there. They're yelling Marty. So the chants begin early tonight. The last game of the year, and they're determined to be heard. And that's hit in the air to shallow right field, but Strawberry is there. Two down in the first inning, and here is some areas a standing ovation, but you can understand the reasoning behind it. Two down, bases empty, first inning, no score. On deck, Jim Rice. Strike, outside corner. Now the chant is Billy, Billy. Breaking ball, ground foul, and the count 0-2.
Just on the strength of what we've seen, it seems like Carter and Darling have picked the fastball, the one that tails away, as the best pitch so far. He's really spotted it. That's the first breaking ball he's thrown.
0-2 to Buckner. Ball one. To join us late, Wade Boggs lined out to short. Marty Barrett flied to right as Bruce Hurst and Don Baylor look on. Fastball sliced down the left field line, and that one is going to land foul. Buckner halfway to second base. Will have a long walk back.
The infield was covered, but watching Buckner around first base, he kind of slipped. You can see he's got those high toppers on, but the infield was covered, and it appears to be in pretty good shape. But as he rounds it, he does a little bit of a slip here, right there.
So Buckner comes back. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 2 out, first inning, no score. Rice on deck. The final baseball game of the year. And he took a lot off that pitch. And there's a hopper into right field. Base hit for Buckner. So a 2-out single to right by Bill Buckner will bring up Jim Rice.
Seemed to reach for it and just plugs the gap between first and second.
Interesting, too, looking at that, Buckner, as he was swinging, Hernandez started to go the other way. I think Keith was expecting the ball to be pulled between him and the bag as opposed to in the hole. And here is Rice. Guessing fastball, and the count 0-1. In the dirt, knocked down by Carter, and of course Buckner's not about to gamble on the base path.
And Carter did a good job of shifting. He's ready to move. Just the tip of the glove got it, and as long as you keep that ball in front of you, no one is going to move, especially Buckner.
So Buckner at first, held on by Hernandez. 2 out in the first inning, no score. 1-1. The count to Jim Rice with Dwight Evans on deck. Fouled away off first base, out of play. Came inside, hit him on the thumbs.
Rice is using that choked up grip that he's gone to just a bit, and when you ask him about it, there you see it. He says, I just want to drive the ball. I want to hit it hard. I'm quicker with the bat when I choke up a little bit.
Ron Darling pitching on 4 days rest because of rain. And Bruce Hurst because of the rain, starting over Dennis Oil Can Boyd.
Got that left hand wrapped, keeping it warm.
One ball, 2 strikes to Jim Rice. And that's line to right. Strawberry going to his left, backhands it. No runs, 1 hit, a man left at the end of half an inning. Sox nothing, Mets coming up. Dykstra and Backman sit down, so the Mets line up with Wilson, Tuffle, and Hernandez, Carter, Strawberry, and Knight, Mitchell, Santana, and Darling. And Bruce Hurst, a 13-game winner during the year, 3-0 in postseason games, a brilliant earned run average of 1.7. And a ground ball to the right side to Marty Barrett. 1 pitch, 1 away.
Take a look at the defense for the Red Sox. Rice, Henderson, and Evans in the outfield. It's the same as it's been. Boggs, Owen, Barrett, Buckner, Gedman behind the plate, and Bruce Hurst with that good curveball, that big overhand curveball. He changed the speeds on it, a forkball and a fastball, and he has been using them all.
Hurst has had trouble with the hitter coming up, Tim Tuffle. Tuffle is 4 for 7 against Hurst, including 2 singles, a double, and a home run. You might remember the home run went to right field in Fenway Park. Tim, whose era contributed heavily to the winning run scoring in Game 1. 4-1. Following Tuffle, Keith Hernandez. One and 0. Strike.
When he spots that pitch on that outside corner, he is just doubly tough because it just makes his other 2 pitches, the slow curveball and the forkball, more effective.
Fouled at the plate, and the count 1-2. I guess it figured we'd have a game like Saturday night when you realize that the Red Sox won 19 games in their last at-bats, including the playoff. The Mets had 39 come from behind, then they had 3 in the playoffs with Houston, and then Saturday night. This should go to the wire. 1-2. 2-2. And you could just as well change the name at the bottom of that sheet to Sox in Boston. Popped in the air on the right side, and it's Marty Barrett.
As a ball club, if you're the Red Sox, you're looking for a strong inning from your pitcher, much like Darling gave the Mets, and so far that's what Hurst has done.
And with 2 out, here is Keith Hernandez. Another interesting aspect to the game tonight, it is conceivable that the long man, the so-called long man in the bullpen tonight, would be Dwight Gooden for the Mets and Dennis Oil Can Boyd for the Red Sox.
And Roger Clemens said before the game, just talking to him, he showed me where he had the blister. He said, I can go if they need me.
Gooden looking on with Santana and Howard Johnson in the dugout. Ball 1 to Keith Hernandez. Hernandez, a member of the '82 Cardinal Club that was down 3 games to 2 and won it. And he's trying to repeat it. You can see him shaking his head as another plane flies overhead.
They really sound like they're low. I can see where your concentration would be broken.
One ball and no strikes. Breaking ball, strike, and the count 1-1. Bruce Hurst, if you throw out the last start he made, that was the game after the Red Sox had clinched, you get an indication of how well he's been pitching. That's line to center. Henderson will flag it, and the inning is over. Hurst has made 11 consecutive quality starts, and at the end of an inning, no score. The almost hypnotic stare of Jim Rice. If he looks back, he thinks about the '75 World Series where he had a broken hand and failed to play. And of course, he's been looking ahead, trying to figure it out ever since Saturday morning. Talking to Tony Armas.
Just watching him, looked like he was talking about going the other way, an inside-out swing, and Armas seemed to be talking about the defense the Mets were using against Rice.
Remember, in the first inning, the Sox hit the ball pretty hard. Boggs went the other way and lined to Santana. Rice went the other way and lined to Strawberry. Buckner pulled for a base hit to right. Barrett flied to right. Here's Dwight Evans, Rich Gedman, and then Dave Henderson. Second inning, no score. Breaking ball up, ball one. Top of the second. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. On that one too, and the count 1-2 to Dwight Evans. Evans was saying that Saturday night's game ranked right up there with Game 6 of the World Series. Now that really puts it in his spine. In 1975. In fact, Dwight was on deck when Carlton Fisk hit the home run, as he remembers. 1-2. Sinker missed.
It's pretty apparent very early that Darling's going to go with that sinker, that good hard fastball that he's throwing, because a couple times that Gary's put down the breaking ball, he just shakes it off.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Dwight Evans. Fouled at the plate.
That's the way it looks to the hitter, and there's the rotation.
Dwight just did get a piece of it, and the count stays 2-2. Fastball missed. So he goes all the way. High foul off first, slicing down the line. Hernandez on the tarp roller to get a look, and it's way back.
It's a great delight in this game, Vin. It's the 7th game of the World Series, so much riding on it. Yet as you look with our center field shot, you'll still see that the same signs used on the playground. 1 was the fastball, 2's the curve, and 3's the split finger.
3-2 to Dwight. High drive into deep left center field. That one might go all the way. It is gone. Home run, Dwight Evans.
It was a fastball, and Evans really jumped on it. He was a little bit out in front on that ball he fouled off, but this one, with the swing, he timed it perfectly and drove it a long way.
Dwight Evans' second home run of the series and his 7th run batted in, and it's the Red Sox who score first and lead 1-0. The batter will be the left-hand hitting catcher Rich Gedman after we take one more look. And of course, Evans, a great low ball hitter, and he got that ball down around the knees. Ball 1 to Gedman. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Dwight Evans with a big home run to the back row of the bleachers in left center. Gedman fouls it away, and the count 1-2.
even making Gedman chase the bad ball, changing speeds on him. It'll be interesting to see what Carter and Darling do with this pitch. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got that split finger. Maybe try to bounce one up there and see what happens.
Gedman followed by Dave Henderson. And as you can see, things come tumbling down.
Well, they're portable stands, and obviously when the foul ball gets there, everybody leans, and there it goes. Fortunately, it doesn't appear anybody got hurt.
Time out for a moment while they restore that. So we can tell you that that home run by Dwight Evans is the 9th home run in this World Series. What makes it interesting, all in the road ballpark. The Red Sox have now hit 4 home runs in the series, and the Mets have hit 5. So as Tom Seaver sits quietly eating sunflower seeds, they prepare the wall in right field, and time is out. 1-0 Red Sox, top of the 2nd inning.
Talk about sunflower seeds. I thought it was kind of interesting. Only in the World Series coverage do you get it, where they had psychologists try to figure out why ball players chew tobacco, chew gum, chew sunflower seeds. I can't understand why they chew tobacco. I wish they'd stop that. But the sunflower seeds, they had all kinds of reasons for that. But only in the World Series do they emphasize something like that.
Meanwhile, the walls come tumbling down, so timeout at Shea. You might wonder about that rainout that we had going back through the history books in 1911, if you can imagine. Between games 3 and 4 of the World Series, there was a 6-day rain delay. That 1911 World Series finished on October the 26th. Then, of course, in 1962, you might remember, in San Francisco, game 6 was rained out 3 times. And 1975, game 6 was rained out 3 times. And in going back through the history books, yet another footnote to Saturday night's game. Game 6 of the 1986 World Series will be listed as the greatest comeback game in World Series history. No team down by 2 runs scored 3 in its last at bat until Saturday night. Dwight Evans, you remember, against Jack Morris opening day in Detroit. This is the way his season began. What a way to start. You hit the first pitch of the season out for a home run. And now Dwight, opening up the 2nd inning for the Red Sox, hits another home run, and Boston leads 1-0. And he's accustomed to hitting them in another park. Okay, the wall has been secured, and here is Gedman with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that's a drive into right center field. Strawberry going back to the wall, at the wall, leaps in the air, one-hands it. No, he missed it. The right hand of Dale Ford started up and then circled to indicate home run. And Strawberry coming with an inch. It's gone, and the Sox lead 2-0.
We've seen a number of these plays. He gets a glove on it. His glove is over the fence. It looks like he's going to rob Gedman as he finds the fence of the home run. He gets above it. It hits the glove, and then his arm appears to hit the fence. Over it goes. He was looking for it and realizes he doesn't have it. We saw Henderson do that in the playoffs. We saw Dwight Evans do it, and now here's Strawberry.
So it is 2-0 Boston on back-to-back home runs by Dwight Evans and Rich Gedman. The batter is Dave Henderson, who takes ball 1. For Ron Darling, his string of consecutive scoreless innings ends shockingly after 15.
Strawberry really thought he had that, but
so did I.
He grabbed nothing.
Foul back. 2-1 to count. This was the non-catch of Dwight Evans in Boston. Got his glove on it, arm hits the wall, and out it goes. So we've seen that 3 times. Henderson, Evans, and now Strawberry. Two and 1. 3-1. So the Red Sox hit the ball hard in the first inning, and they hit 2 out in the second inning. And there's ball 4 to Henderson. Darling has now walked 10 men in the series, and Mel Stottlemyre going out to talk to him to see if he can find the solution. Spike Owen will be the batter. Nobody out.
Pretty apparent why Stottlemyre's going out there, just to settle him down, because back-to-back home runs, and hey, that'll get you to thinking, it'll get you to aiming, and all Stottlemyre wants to do is, hey, look, okay, so they got the 2 runs. Let's get settled down here and go back to work. You could see by the reaction on Gedman's home run that it was a bit of a shocker as far as Darling was concerned. Strawberry looked like he was going to make the play. He gets there. He knows exactly where the fence is. He gets above it, off his glove, and then he looks in his glove. He thought he had it. Oh, he says, but it's a home run.
Ron Darling gave up 21 home runs during the regular year, so he's stung back-to-back. And now with Henderson on and nobody out, Spike Owen is the batter.
Knight cheating in at third base. And with Owen, they can certainly put a play on because he can handle that bat.
And for the historian, the last time, 1981, Guerrero and Yeager up Ron Guidry. Dodgers versus Yankees. Strike. Spike having a good series. Has a quick look down at Rene Latchman. Henderson held on by Keith Hernandez. 2-0 Red Sox, top of the second inning.
Darling has a good, quick move. When he throws to first base with his good move, it is quick. He can pick you off.
No balls, 1 strike. That's in there. The scouts rate Darling as being quick to first, but pretty slow coming to the plate. Darling is considered a good fielder. 0-2 the count. Henderson with a walk at first. If anyone wondered with the fog here tonight and no wind whether the ball will carry, that question has been answered by Evans and Gedman. And that's a little pop fly to Santana. 1 out in the top of the second inning. 2-0 Boston, and Bruce Hurst coming up. Hurst, you remember, and he was very good-natured about it, in taking his at-bats here against Darling. Struck out 3 times. In fact, the last time he came up in that game, there were a couple of runners aboard, and he said Gary Carter and the plate umpire were laughing, and Hurst said, hey, be serious up here. They laughed some more as he struck out a 3rd time. But the Mets now are not looking laughs, they're looking bunt. And there it is. And it's overrun by Knight, picked up and thrown by Darling for the out. Knight looked back at the turf as if it had done him wrong, and he can be happy that Darling backed him up.
He's charging so hard, it could have been a routine, easy play for him, and he elects to go one hand with it, and it takes a little bit of a bad bounce. Remember earlier we talked about it. The ground crew did a great job in getting this field ready, but they really had to put a lot of topsoil, extra sod on it because of what they did when they clinched it. and Darling a good fielder as a pitcher, backing up to play, and they get their man at first.
If you're scoring, Knight did not touch the ball. It is basically a 1-4 sacrifice. And now here's Wade Boggs. Henderson at second. 2 runs in, 2-0 Boston. Boggs lined out to Santana in the first inning. Right.
If you were just looking at the defense, you would say they're not going to give Boggs anything slow to hit. They'll show it to him. Look how far over Hernandez is. They expect him to hit from center field to the left field line. It looks like they're going to try to make him hit that sinker.
0-1. Amazing tribute to Marty Barrett, the kind of a series he's having. Pitching carefully to Boggs with 2 out, and Marty Barrett on deck. One and 1. Ball 2. Henderson, the way the infield is, the only man who might bird dog him at all is Tim Tuffle, and he's far away. So you can look at the infield dirt and you can see where Henderson is winding up. He is taking a lead of almost 45 feet before he stops. 2-2. Mark on the runway, you could just about measure it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out to Boggs, 2 in.
This is his favorite count, and Darling's been throwing that sinker the outside part of the plate.
And as a hopper by the diving Santana, Mookie's going to come up throwing, but Henderson, because of that big lead, will score easily. And it is 3-0 Boston.
With 2 men out, he's able to get that big lead. And the scouting report, and talking to Frank Malzone and Sam Mealy, they're going to run on the Met outfielders. Santana tries to knock it down to keep it in the infield, but there was no way that Henderson was going to slow up. As soon as that ball gets to the outfield, the scouts told him, take off.
It's still kind of amazing when you realize it. With a runner in scoring position at 2 out, they pitch to the major league's leading hitter. And he drives in the run.
He may have widened that zone a little bit as we watch Henderson score to knock in that run.
And here is Marty Barrett. Right. Barrett flied to right in the first inning. 3-0 Boston on 2 home runs, a walk, sacrifice, and since they pitched to Boggs, he singles it in. And Barrett bunts up along third. It's staying on the grass. Base hit.
Once it grabbed that grass, it was going to stay there. It looked like for a minute it was going to get to the dirt part. Had it gotten there, it would have rolled foul. There's no way that would stay fair once it hits the dirt. But when it grabs that grass, now right about there, looked like it was going to go foul. But once it hit the grass, it's almost like little fingers, like octopus grass. He just held it. And Marty Barrett, say what you want. There he goes again. He's in the middle of it for the big guys.
And left-hander Sid Fernandez loosening up. 2 on, 2 out. And Bill Buckner becomes the 8th man to come to the plate in the second inning. Buckner singled to right in the first inning. So Darling, on 4 days rest, has been hit hard, plus the bunt single. Remember, 2 of the outs in the first inning. Boggs lined hard at Santana, and Rice lined deep to Strawberry. One and 0. And that's going to be hit to left center, but Mookie on his horse and flags it down. However, the Red Sox get 3 and lead 2. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Red Sox 3 and the Mets nothing. The importance of this play, if Strawberry had held onto the ball, the Red Sox would have scored 1 and not 3. This
ball is out of the strike zone and Boggs hits. He really widens the zone. And watch, Mookie is in shallow, but it's what Malzone and Mealy were talking about, run on Mookie. But you can see Henderson was only about 2 steps past third base, so the scouting report really helped score that run.
3-0 Boston. Gary Carter to start it off, and he bunts. Down to get it is Hurst. Full turn, and the throw got him.
And that's the best fastball Hurst has thrown in 3 games. He really reared back and pumped that one because the bunt was a good one. And with Bob's back, Mets are trailing by 3. You expect Carter to really take a big cut. He catches everybody except Hurst by surprise, and does this big guy crank a fastball. Look at that.
So Carter nipped at first on the bunt, 1 away, and Darryl Strawberry the batter. Ball 1.
And Finn, with that pitch, Hurst has only made 11 pitches, and he's got 4 outs.
1 ball and no strikes. High fly ball into shallow left. Jim Rice has plenty of time to get there. Darryl Strawberry now 0 for his last 10 here, dating back to game 3 of the playoffs with Houston. 2 down, and Ray Knight the batter. Boston 3, Mets nothing in the second. 2 down, bases empty. On deck, Kevin Mitchell. Knight, who scored the winning run in that somewhat bizarre game Saturday night. Strike. Bruce Hurst